Good morning everyone. Myself Patel ma'am from SGM College Karat. Today I am going to teach you the subject OCM for standard 11th. I have started the chapter introduction of the OCM as well as the first chapter, the nature and scope of business. I have started with the introduction. The first point is teach to you, that was introduction. Then I teach you about the human activities which are divided into two parts. The first is the economic activities and the second is the non-economic activities. Economic activities are performed to earn a profit. The main motto is to earn a profit, to provide, then with the help of production and distributions of goods and services. Non-economic activity motive is not to provide, not to have a profit motive, but to provide the services to the common public, or when you feel happy, it's related to your sentiment, etc. Non-economic motive is there. Economic activity is further divided into three parts. The first is business, the second is profession, and the third is employment. I have started with the last point of business in the last lecture about it. Okay, then we have seen about the business. What do we mean by business? Definition of business put forth by Professor Hani, Professor Kapoor, and then we have seen with the features. In the features, first 6 point was teach to you. Remember? Yes or no? A short recap I will tell to you, and then I will teach you the further remaining one. In the features of business, we have seen the first one. That feature, business is an economic activity. What is business? Business is an economic activity, an activity which is always performed to earn a profit. Then there are always two parties in the business. The first is what? A buyer. The second is the seller. Every time the buyer and seller are going to do various types of distribution and production of goods and services. Then the third was profit motive. The business is always run with a main aim, the sole aim to run a business is the profit motive only. Then we have seen the production of goods and services. Then we have seen exchange of goods and services, and the next one is dealing in goods and services. Okay, up till here we all have teach you in the various form. The dealing in goods and services was divided into two parts. The first one was consumer good and the next one was capital good. Up till here I have teach to you. The dealing in goods and services, various goods are there which you are dealing every day, various services are there as a common customer, as a wholesaler, as a retailer, etc. So goods are totally divided into two parts. Consumer good, like common good which we consume every day, like tea, milk, sugar, various types of fruits, vegetable, all are related to it. Capital goods are related to machinery, plant, furniture, etc. Up till here I have teach you in the last lecture. The next only 3 points is left which I will teach you, and we will complete. 4 points is left which I will teach you, and we will continue to the next point. The point number 7 is continuity in dealings. Point number 7 is continuity in dealing. Point number 8 is uncertain returns. Point number 9 is element of risk. And point number 10 is customer satisfaction. So we will start our lecture with the remaining points which was left in the last lecture about the features of business. Okay, features of business. The last point which I teach you in the last lecture was dealing in goods and services, which was the goods were divided into two parts: consumer goods, capital good. Consumer goods like tea, milk, sugar; capital goods like plant, machinery, etc. Point number 7 in the feature is continuity in dealing. Now every time whenever the business is done, there is always a continuity in the business. Business does not stop to a particular end. It's not like that when the aim of the business, like every businessman wants to be successful, every businessman always think what? He always think that I should earn more profit, I should have less loss. So there is always a continuity in the business. In the business, continuity is there. When business is in a continuous form, at that time whether profit is there, loss is there, or any other thing is there, change in fashion is there, change in the government policies are there, any element is there that can be seen, but for that we should always be in a continuation in the business. Business should always be in a continuous form. Every business requires regularity in transaction. One single transaction does not constitute a business. That means every day you have to do the various type of the transaction which are always been benefit in the various way. Example is given: if a person is selling his own motor car and earns a profit, then it will not be considered as a business activity. But he is a car dealer. If he is a car dealer and he sells and purchases it regularly, that is said as a business activity. Yes, it is correct. Example is given in the best way, that if you are just selling your own car and earning a profit on that, that is not a business activity. But when you are a business dealer and when you are selling the car, at that time you will say that as a business activity. So it is always been preferable that business should be in a continuous form. So continuity in dealing should be there. Number 8 is uncertain return. Now obviously where in uncertain return is going to be there. In business, the return are never predictable or guaranteed. Every businessman has to suffer a loss in the life cycle of the business. Yes or no? Like every coin has a two sides. Yes or no? Every coin has a two sides. One is the profit, another is a loss. So every businessman have to suffer the loss in the life cycle of the business. Whenever he is doing a business, there may be uncertain return may be there in the form of a loss, which is unpredictable, not guaranteed. It may not come, depending upon to the type of the business. Got it? Point number 8. Point number 9 is element of risk. Now you know very well, risk is there. Risk means what? Risk always come in the business. Risk is inevitable. You are not inviting the risk. Come, have a risk in the business. No. It is inevitable. You cannot avoid the risk. Only the thing is that you can minimize the risk. Remember always this word. Risk cannot be avoided. Okay, because risk is also uncertain. It is going to come in the business, but you cannot avoid it, but you will try, you may try to minimize the risk. So risk is a key element of every business which is concerned with exposure to loss. That means in the business, risk is going to be there, and risk always bring the businessman in the form of a loss. It is due to some unfavorable or undesirable event. Some unfavorable or undesirable event is there. At that time, risk is always there. Intensity of a risk can be minimized, but it cannot be avoided. Certain factors are beyond the control of businessman, like changes in consumer taste, like, dislike, fashion, preferences, whatever there is there in the market, change in the policy, change in the fashion, change in the taste, habit, like, dislike. This is always uncertain. This is the risk which is always going to bear. Then sometimes natural calamities are there. Sometimes fire only there in the office. It may happen like this. So that time always remember consumer taste, like, dislike, fashion, changes in demand, methods of production, fire, natural calamity. No business is free from all the above factor. What I say you all these examples, no business is there that says that I don't have a risk about these type. No. Every businessman has to bear the risk. Risk is inevitable. It is not invited by the businessman, but it comes. This cannot be avoided, but it can be minimized. The intensity of the risk can be minimized to a certain level. Okay, one more example I can give you. You cannot avoid, but you can minimize in the way by doing the insurance. You can remove the fire insurance. Yes or no? If you are sending goods through waterways, you can remove the marine insurance like this. Got it? Then the next is the last one, customer satisfaction. Now the main important role which is played over here is customer. Customer should always be satisfied. Customer satisfaction is a very important role which is always been played by the businessman. That he always give customer satisfaction to the level. When the wants are fulfilled, when the customer's wants are fulfilled, ultimately at that time he is satisfied. So consumer satisfaction is the ultimate aim of all the economic activities activities and business, it is not exception. Modern business believe always to satisfy the customer by giving good quality product and services. Today we are in a modern business world. In this business world, the main aim is to provide service to the customer, to give good quality service, of not only service, quality product also. So the purpose of the business is to create and retain the customer. Yes or no? Every businessman is thinking that this chain of customer should always come towards me only. So when you want to have a good quality customer, when you want to retain the customer, at that time you should always provide good quality services and goods to the customer. So customer satisfaction plays a very important role. Got it everyone? That was about the features of business. 10 point was there. Last lecture 6 point. Today I teach 4 point. Further I will teach you the next economic activity, which is profession. 3 economic activities was divided: business, profession, employment. Now we will see about profession meaning. What is profession? Profession is that part of the economic activity under which a person uses his educational knowledge and special skill to render services for earning income. What is profession? For getting into a profession, first you have a certain qualification, and that qualification you use, and on that basis when you earn an income, at that time that is said as a profession. Example, you all know very well, like a doctor. Take an example of a doctor, lawyer, teacher, chartered accountant, an architect, a builder, any person. Like when you become a doctor, when you go a certain qualification, yes or no? When you are doing all the qualification levels completed, then you you go to internship, and afterward you open your own clinic, or you go somewhere outside, or you hire for a job somewhere, or you get a job somewhere. That means what? Whenever you are getting educational qualification, and that qualification you use to render the services, and on that basis when you get an income, that is said as a profession. Example which I have given to you. Yes or no? Like doctor is there, lawyer also, he gets into LLB. Yes or no? Then afterwards you do the practice, and after practice, or while practice is going on, he do the various things. Like he started earning already. Yes or no? Like this thing always it is there in the profession. Okay, got it everyone? No definition is there, only 2-line meaning is there, that only you have to go. Next is the features. Next is what? Features. Features again have 7 points over here. The first is the aim, second is the qualification, third is aim, qualification, financial return, then is the capital, point number 4, then is point number 5, registration and membership, number 6 is non-transferability, and number 7 is over here nature of work. 10 point was there in the features of business, and 7 point is there in the features of professional. We will see one by one into detail. Number 1 is aim. Now every profession is practiced, you all know, for earning money. Doctor, he has become also to earn money, but with that he will provide service also to you. But the main aim is what? To earn money. Also they render services to their client and solve the problem. Like a lawyer also, okay, always when a customer come at that time, or when a client come at that time, he solve the problem also and take the money. Yes or no? So aim is what? The main aim of every profession is to earn money, but with that obviously they have to provide services also. Number 1. Number 2 is what? Qualification. Now for every profession you have to go under certain qualification. For doctor you have to complete a separate degree. For becoming a lawyer, a separate. For teacher, separate. For becoming a CA, like a chartered accountant, you have to go under register. You have to give various exams under All India Institute or All India Chartered Institute of India, etc. Yes or no? That means qualification is must. Every profession can be practiced only after acquiring required qualification. Each profession has a certain set of a body of a knowledge, and this knowledge has to be acquired only by systematic and formal training. One cannot practice profession unless the knowledge is required. Yes or no? Like a doctor, without getting certain qualification, practice, and then you are doing various type of the practice. After that also training is there. Everything, like for teacher also trainings are there. Yes or no? Up till unless you are not going under certain qualification, you are getting possession of that, then you are getting training, practicing, then only you can be said like you are under this profession. Yes or no? A doctor can do all the things of a lawyer? No. A lawyer can practice like a doctor? No. Because you have studied this knowledge and this body of knowledge only, this set of knowledge only, you have to go for it. Yes or no? Number 2 is qualification. Number 3 is financial returns. Of course, like main motive is to earn profit only, but to provide service also to the common public, to solve their problems, etc. Professional get fees in exchange of the service. Income received by profession is not fixed. Professions can be employed by an organization or self-employed. Like example, take a chartered accountant. A working chartered accountant gets salary. Those who practice privately, that is self-employed, get fees. Now example I will give you in the best way. Like a doctor. Doctor, when have the own clinic, okay, when have the own clinic, that is a private one, correct? At that time he is the what? He is self-employed. He is not working under any doctor. Yes or no? Otherwise, one doctor who is having his own clinic, at that time he take fees. In exchange of that, he will give you whatever treatments and all. But another example of a doctor is that if he is working in a government hospital, at that time, does he take that fees? No. Because that for him, salary is given by the government only. Okay, this is the two different part. Okay, so financial return depend upon that only. Either you are self-employed or you are working under as an employee of a particular organization. On that basis, financial returns are there. So always professional get fees in exchange of their service. Some profession, when you do go in privately, your fees are took, but when you go under government sector, at that time, you know very well, less fees are there comparative to privately. Then the next is the capital. Same example for capital also. Same example I will give you. How I will tell you. Same doctor example I will give you now also in the point of capital. When doctor have his own clinic, at that time certain amount of money he invest, he do all the various type of thing, building, infrastructure, material, equipment, etc. Okay, but when he is working under the hospital, government hospital, at that time he has to put a capital? No. That means always for the profession, if you are self-employed, you have to put capital. But if you are an employer in a particular organization, you have to not to put capital. So profession can be practiced independently or under profession can work by someone. Independent practicing require huge capital for setting up the practice. If you are working independently, privately, you have to put capital. If you are not working independently, you have to not to put capital. Next is registration and membership. Now, of course, you should register. When you are under profession, of course, you have to register. Like some profession have a council which regulate the activities of profession. The professionals have to register them with a respective council and get the certificate. Yes or no? Example I will give you. For lawyer, it is compulsory to register under Bar Council of India. Okay, if you are doing CA, Chartered Accountant, you have to register under Indian Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. If you are a doctor, you have to register under Indian Medical Association of India. Yes or no? Yes or no? Every person, which profession you have to register in that only. For lawyer, Bar Council. For doctor, Medical Association. For CA, Chartered Institute of India. Everyone has to register and everyone compulsorily it is there. The code of conduct mentioned by the respective council should be strictly followed by every professional. Every practicing professional has to acquire the membership. That means when you are practicing any profession, at that time you have to get the first of all you have to register there and you have to get the membership compulsory. Point number 5. Point number 6 is non-transferability. Now profession cannot be transferred from one person to another. Tell me, does a CA can transfer his degree to a doctor and can do all the activities what a doctor is doing? No. So profession is not transferable. Okay, business can be transferred because today I don't know but tomorrow I know how to do the business. Yes or no? I can get a practice over there and I can get the knowledge about it. But profession cannot be transferable. It is non-transferable in nature. Okay? Like a doctor cannot transfer his medical practice to his son or a daughter who has not completed the medical education. Okay? So profession cannot be transferred to other person on the will of the profession. Okay, if I am willing that I want to transfer, then too I cannot transfer because it is non-transferable. Okay, if I am a doctor and my son and daughter is not practicing any of a medical education field part, at that time how I can transfer? No, it is non-transferable. You have to acquire certain qualification, you have to go under certain training, practice, then only you can get it. That was point number 6. Point number 7 is nature of work. Now what work a profession is doing? Professional charge fees in exchange of expert services. Always profession, when you are there, at that time when you want to get some expert services, you have to give the fees compulsorily. Example, an architect design the layout of office for fees. Yes or no? You go for the architect and you say I want this building layout. At that time he start doing, but for that he take a certain fees and then only he give. That means every profession is done only on behalf of monetary exchange. That means exchange you are going to get in the form of the fees only. No, yes, but with that always they render services also. You get different types of services also. Like architect, he will give you the service by removing the layout. A doctor will give you a treatment, will give you prescription of the medicine, then you will feel you better. A lawyer will solve your problem, whatever is there you are having at that time. But they take fees, which is the monetary fees, which is always as a part of their service. That means which service they provide is always in the form of the fees you are going to give to them. Got it, everyone? Yes or no? So what we have seen? We have seen the second part of the economic activity, which is what? Which is profession. Profession plays a very important role. Always for profession you have to go under certain qualification, you have to possess some knowledge, you have to get some formal training and you have to practice, then only the things can be there in the better way. Yes or no? Okay, so every point you have to study in this way only. Like what I teach you first, meaning, then you have to know first the meaning, you have to write. Then what is there? Features. Features are there in 7 points. This 7 point you have to go one below another and you have to know. Got it, everyone? Okay, economic activity was divided into 3 parts. The first one was business, second one was profession, and the third one is employment. Now what do you mean by employment? I'll teach you the meaning and further we'll see afterwards. First I'll teach you the meaning of employment. In employment, 2 parties are there. Always remember. The third part of economic activity is employment. In employment, 3 parties are there: employer and employee. Again, employment is an economic activity in which people work for others. What is employment? An economic activity in which people work for others. There is employer-employee relationship. Employer is a person who offer the work and person who accept the work is called employee. Example, a person like for a small business, one boss is there and he keep 10 employees. The boss who is there is the employer, because he hire the employee. Okay, so at that time employment is an economic activity in which people work for other. 2 persons are included: employer, employee. A good relationship is there, and employer is a person who give work to other. Okay, and employee is a person who accept the work. This is what employee. Remuneration terms and conditions are agreed by both. Okay, that you say I am employer of a particular organization, that means I am working in that company. Employer is who? The boss only, who hire you as an employee. Got it everyone? So today we all have seen the sum part of features of business, and we have seen the second economic activity, that is a profession, meaning and features. Enough for today. We will see in the next lecture about the employment. Thank you.